If your idea of Nevada is all about luxury, world-class entertainment, and the dazzling lights of Las Vegas, you might need to adjust your expectations. It turns out that not every city in this state is an ideal place to live. Many residents face daily struggles, from rising crime rates and high unemployment to a lack of public facilities and limited transportation options. As we explore the cities in this vast desert state that are often labeled as the worst places to live, let's dive into the stark contrasts that exist here. Which cities make it onto this list, and why? Oh, and one more thing. Nevada doesn't actually have that many cities. Why? Because a staggering 81% of its land is managed or controlled by the federal government. This includes military facilities, natural resource sites, recreational areas, and vast stretches of open grassland. While there's no strict definition, small towns are generally identified based on two main factors: a low population and limited public facilities. In Nevada, a town is typically considered small if it has fewer than 50,000 residents. Additionally, small towns in Nevada often have simpler infrastructure and fewer public services. This means fewer schools, healthcare facilities, shopping centers, and government offices compared to what you'd find in larger cities. Once a booming silver mining town, Tonopah has now earned the unfortunate title of the poorest and most desolate city in Nevada. The median household income here stands at just $33,144, which is significantly lower than the state average of $62,350. But the financial struggles don't stop there. Nearly 20% of its residents live below the poverty line, a stark contrast to Nevada's overall 12.2% poverty rate. Ironically, despite having a relatively young population with a median age of 32 years, Tonopah still struggles with high unemployment. One of the key reasons is the lack of access to quality education and job training programs, which makes it difficult for residents to secure better employment opportunities. In addition, substance abuse, particularly drug and alcohol addiction, remains a persistent issue in the community. Tonopah's population is small, with only around 1,660 people, a number comparable to Brookside, New Jersey, which has 1,519 residents. Next on the list is Ely, a small town that originally served as a stagecoach station along the Pony Express route. When copper was discovered in 1906, Ely rapidly grew into a thriving mining town. Though the mining industry has seen both booms and busts over the years, the town has managed to retain some of its historic charm. Attractions like the Nevada Northern Railway Museum, which offers scenic rides on historic steam trains, and the Hotel Nevada and Gambling Hall, once the tallest building in the state, help keep Ely's rich past alive. However, Ely's heavy reliance on copper mining has made it highly vulnerable to economic fluctuations. When copper prices plummeted in the mid-1970s, mines shut down, dealing a severe blow to the local economy. Adding to the town's challenges is its geographic isolation, which affects access to essential services and infrastructure. While Ely does have a public library and is part of the White Pine County School District, healthcare facilities and public transportation remain scarce for its 3,898 residents. Located about 290 kilometers northeast of Las Vegas, Pioche was founded in 1864 following the discovery of silver mines. However, early settlers were forced to abandon the area due to conflicts with local Native American tribes. It wasn't until 1868, after the tensions had subsided, that people returned, and by the early 1870s, Pioche had transformed into one of Nevada's most significant silver mining towns. During its peak, Pioche gained a notorious reputation as one of the Wild West's most violent towns, where lawlessness and gunfights were common. Despite its rich historical legacy, the town has struggled to evolve over the years. Its geographic isolation and lack of economic diversification have hindered the development of infrastructure and public services. Limited access to healthcare, education, and job opportunities has made Pioche an unattractive destination for both new residents and potential investors. Today, Pioche is home to a small population of just 1,129 people. Next on the list is Winnemucca, a town of 8,214 residents that often finds itself ranked among Nevada's least desirable small towns due to a combination of economic and social challenges. As the county seat of Humboldt County, Winnemucca plays a key administrative role, but its economy remains narrowly focused, with limited job opportunities outside of agriculture and government services. The town's poverty rate stands at 14.5%, which is 4% higher than the national average. The median household income in Winnemucca is $67,574 per year, which is nearly identical to the national median of $67,500. Which is nearly identical to the national median of $67,500. However, almost 37% of households earn less than $50,000 per year, a figure close to the national average of 39%. As a result, unemployment remains relatively high, and economic opportunities are scarce. Winnemucca's remote location further discourages new investments, leaving the town with insufficient public services, including hospitals, schools, and public transportation. These challenges continue to impact the quality of life for its residents. Located right on the Utah-Nevada border, West Wendover sits adjacent to Wendover, Utah. This small town offers an appealing alternative for those who want easy access to casinos without the overwhelming crowds and chaos of Las Vegas or Reno. Back in the early 1990s, West Wendover experienced a period of economic growth, but today, its population has dwindled to just 4,493 people, with most residents either working in casinos or already retired. Beyond economic struggles, social and demographic challenges have also hindered the town's progress. The local economy is heavily dependent on the gambling industry, which provides the primary source of income for many residents. However, casino jobs are often seasonal and unstable, leading to high unemployment and poverty rates. Additionally, West Wendover has an aging population, and with few career opportunities in other industries, younger generations are leaving for bigger cities, further exacerbating the town's economic stagnation. From a social standpoint, West Wendover's remote location makes it difficult to attract investment in essential public services such as healthcare, education, and transportation. As a result, much of the town's infrastructure is outdated. Crime is another major concern. The overall crime rate is 20% higher than the national average, and the violent crime rate is a staggering 124% above the national norm. Located in Churchill County, Fallon is often listed among Nevada's most troubled small towns due to its economic struggles. The town, home to 9,659 residents, relies heavily on agriculture, which has limited its economic growth and diversification. This lack of industry means that job opportunities are scarce, leading to low household incomes. The median household income in Fallon is just $45,593 per year, significantly lower than the national median of $67,500. Additionally, 52.9% of households earn less than $50,000 annually, compared to the national average of 39%. These economic limitations are further compounded by inadequate infrastructure and public services. Many residents struggle with limited access to quality healthcare, schools, and transportation, which makes daily life more challenging. On top of that, Fallon's geographic isolation makes it difficult for residents to reach essential services and resources that are typically more accessible in larger cities. Sounds like a bright name for what is actually one of the most struggling small towns in Nevada, doesn't it? Unfortunately, Searchlight is plagued by a crime rate that is 26% higher than the national average, and a staggering 32% of its residents live below the poverty line. The town's median household income is only $27,000 per year, making it 51% lower than the US average. In the early 1900s, Searchlight was a booming mining town, experiencing rapid growth with over a dozen saloons, a telephone exchange, and 44 active mines. The discovery of gold in the region drew thousands of miners and fortune seekers from across the country, transforming the town into a thriving community of more than 5,000 residents. Sadly, those golden days are long gone. With the decline of mining, the town saw a steady economic downturn, leading to its near abandonment. Today, Searchlight is little more than a ghost town, with a population of just 234 people. The decline of these small towns is driven by multiple factors. The collapse of key industries, such as mining and agriculture, has left many of these communities without stable economic foundations. A lack of economic diversification means that when one industry fails, there are few alternatives to fall back on. Additionally, many of these towns struggle with geographic isolation, which limits infrastructure development and access to public services. Without adequate healthcare, schools, or reliable transportation, attracting new residents and businesses becomes increasingly difficult. Government policies also play a role. Strict regulations and slow economic reforms often hinder the growth needed for these towns to adapt to modern economic shifts. Furthermore, many local governments fail to address the changing needs of their populations, prompting younger generations to leave for larger cities, further accelerating the decline. While these towns may have once thrived, their struggles highlight the harsh realities of economic downturns, isolation, and lack of adaptability, leaving them in a constant battle for survival.